All right, what's going on, everybody? The flies are coming back. The seasons are starting to get a little short here for us for our summer, which always makes me sad because I've had these guys now for a long time, and I've sat with these guys all their life, or somebody within my family has sat with these people all their lives. In the early days, before a full on year of any kind, we didn't know that it was a full time babysitting job. We didn't realize that's what this would become. And it's not just a babysitting job. I'm not saying that in a bad way because I would not trade this experience for anything ever. We were just talking about my old dog Panthro and how Panthro made us know that we were absolutely alive. And my family and I had gloves hanging on the wall, bats, like PVC bats everywhere. We have first aid kits everywhere. It was literally a prison from the moment that we opened the door. There was always this Panthro unknown. And Panthro, that's the thing is I guess I wasn't smart enough to say let's get rid of Panthro a long time ago. Because we had people on YouTube that were like, you need to get rid of Panthro. Because Panthro was always in the fights, even from I have years before we had a video series called Little House in the Jungle. And I think somebody on there was yelling at us about Panthro. But we were 10 pitties strong. But my blood pressure was off the charts. And we were literally one fight away from somebody taking a massive shot like a human. Or a dog. And had Panther not got bone cancer, there's a good chance that this pack could have been smoked by then. And Panther was the alpha of the pack. That dude would hold these guys down and lick their mouths and just dominate them in every way, shape, and form. He couldn't stop it. Panther could not stop messing with his brothers and sisters. To the humans, Panther was a mad lover. That dude jumped up and forced his love on you. When Panther wanted loves, he was going to jump up and he was going to wrap his arms around you and he was going to hold you down and he was going to love you. And he was going to get loves and it was going to be rough loves. And you got to be ready for Panther loves. And then other times, you could pet him, but it wasn't when he wanted it. When Panther wanted loves, he came and got the loves, even from the humans, which is probably more alpha male traits or something of the sort. But the humans love derps. We all love Panther. And it wasn't until he was gone that we realized how insane we were to be living like we were. Which is always did the hand of the creator intervene into me, who's a little thick-skulled sometimes, you know what I mean? We had gloves mounted on our back wall. We had one out the front. We had them inside the house with little quick release clips. We figured out the best way that we could get armored up in the shortest amount of time. And there was never any time for that. You could try and you could prepare and you could prepare and you could prepare for a dogfight to pop off, and it will never be as you think it was going to be, and it's just it's a masterpiece. A dogfight is a complete masterpiece. Not just a dogfight, a pack fight. That is a blended harmony of violence, terror, stuff, PTSD stuff. Still to this day, Mr. Bubs is completely screwed up. He's psychologically all screwed up. Whenever I yell or whenever so there's some kind of weird drama, Mr. Bubs drops to his back legs drop out from under him like he has a nervous breakdown. And he and Panthro were the ones that always ended up in the most just passionately aggressive state of fight. It was just everything you don't want to have happen would always happen. The only thing, again, knock on wood, my head, because I'm sure it's like thicker than some walls for sure. But I never got ripped open. And this is the thing, is we're talking about dog fights, and there you're not going to find anybody who's ever been in dog fights, they don't encounter and engage in the dog fights. This is why we are absolutely unique, and why you will never ever run into somebody like myself and my family who physically hand-to-hand combat a pack of dogs down to the last two and get everybody separated, to the loss of limbs and movement of body. And I don't know how many times I spent months and months and months crippled. My hands were so ripped up. And there's a couple of really violent encounters, and one of them was one of the last fights that we had with Panthro and Mr. Bubs, and it was just right over here in the lawn. And it was one of the times that Panthro hooked into my arm, and I started ragdolling my arm, and Mr. Bubs was locked onto him. So Panthro just swung back, accidentally caught my arm, and homeboy could have messed me up. Like, I don't know how many seconds it was. It always feels like minutes when you're getting drilled like that, but I don't think it was a lot of seconds. But in those crazy seconds, I remember seeing my kid's face freak out. Caden was like tripping when he saw me get hooked and start rolling around. And here's the gig, though. I screamed Panthro, and he immediately knew he had me, and he let go. He unhooked his teeth from my arms, because it was hooked in with his the dog tooth one, the curved one that goes in. So he got me. I was hooked, and that one hurt. I didn't hurt as bad as I thought it was going to hurt, honestly, but it definitely swelled up, and it was many nights of crap, horrible sleeps, days, hurts. Not great, but this is probably advice to anybody out there. This channel will probably never ever get huge, because we're not one of those kid channels or whatever. We're here to show our dogs, to showcase our hounds, make sure that I have a biography for when these guys are gone, and that it's a good documentary. And that I've done my job as a parent and have gotten as many of these things as I can posted. Where was I going with that? There's something I was going to say. Oh. Now. Nothing. Just talking to the video. It's nice to see my kid unhooked from the grid. I'm just talking to the video, Holmes. So, okay, turn the pump on. Okay, so the only reason that it's even possible that we even are able to contain a pack, even with 9, is because the amount of love that we put into these guys and the amount of attention that they have. And so, because they are never on their own, they are always with a guardian. And usually whenever I'm here, these are my dogs, right? They go where I go. Josh goes outside my bedroom door if I go in my bedroom. He just sits there. He's my daytime Panthro. He comes and hangs and just won't go anywhere but I go. I'll go out in the sun. He'll be sitting out there in the sun, baking, just panting, but just wants to be right next to me. So anyway, I don't think, this is a once in a lifetime and once in a very special opportunity to be able to have the pits, control the pits, not have them chained up, not be like these psychopaths. And, you know, I see these psychopaths on YouTube. I get a couple of them that pass by every once in a while. The guys that have this like AKA certified stuff, and you know their dogs are like 5,000 lineages of like this and that, and they have the only pits available, and nobody else has any pits unless it's like anything at all. But when you actually do a definition, the pits are absolutely huge. But I get those guys that bounce around here from time to time, but I don't even know where I was going with that. There's obviously useless info. Yeah, train of thought is 0. I'm just gonna chill with y'all out here. So, unless you were able to dedicate 100% of your life from the time that you had a pack, you would never be able to do this right. And these guys are love machines. There is not a dog that does not come up for at least 1 or 2 or 3 or more special times. What are you guys doing? Knock it off. Stupid goats are out there. Once a day, right? They just want some loves. They want to come by, get some affection. They want to give you some affection. They want to give you some kisses. Let you know how much they appreciate you. Get a little scratches here and there. Racky. Rackus. Nora. Leave the goats alone. Leave the goats alone. So, I guess that's that, guys. Welcome to the dog pack. We survived. We survived the days of Panthro. And as crazy as it is, knock on wood. Again, here comes my thick head. Knock, knock, knock. We haven't had a major fight since those days. We've had some snarl-ups and flare-ups and things of that nature. Everybody wanted to whoop Panthro's butt. And so anytime anything crazy would pop off in this house, Tubby would like start the fight. Josh would start the fight. Sometimes Leo would get into it. Giddy's the Tron. Giddy fights for the humans. He fought against the kids. Many times he fights until it gets real crazy, and then he bails. But he literally fights the kids off of us and tries to fight the kids and get the situation contained. Giddy sees all the bad behavior. They know good behavior. They know bad behavior. They know fighting is not allowed in this house. They know that it's not something that should happen. So, anyway, it's a hot blazing day here, down here, closer to the equator, so they say. Jungle's what the jungle is. The dudes with the airplane just keep coming by, and they do that. Back when I was a kid, it used to be Milky White or Milky Black, or she was retarded. Milky Blue, like it had no milk look to it. It was just a sky blue. Now everything is that milky white looking through stuff. It's a mess. All right, y'all. Have a good one.